Hi, this is Keith and welcome back to Finding the Dive. Today we're in my workshop and we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. I picked up this on eBay. It is a big blue canister light and I got it for $200. Came with a 4800 light head. The downside is that it had no battery. Now I went online and tried to find one, found several listings, but everybody seemed to be out of stock. Called Big Blue, they don't have them either. So I did some research and found that the battery pack itself is 8 18650s running at 16.8 volts. So what we're going to do is build one to match it. The cells that were in that one are actually Sanyo 3500 milliamp hour batteries. Unfortunately, I don't feel like going out and buying 8 of those today. They're about $8 a piece. But what I am going to be using are what I have on hand, and that is these. These are actually reclaimed LG cells that are 3000 milliamp. They are capable of 10 amps, just like the Sanyo. The only difference is between these and the Sanyo is a 500 milliamps difference. That's not going to bother me too much. Instead of running for about 6 to 7 hours, it's going to run 5 to 6. That's not a big deal. Now these are reclaimed. They have been tested and put through their paces, so they are good batteries. With that said, let's get started. And I almost forgot the legal stuff. We have Finding the Dive are not responsible for you hurting yourself, damage to your gear, burning your hair, burning your house down, drowning, killing yourself, losing a finger, raising your kids, paying your bills, getting caught with a hooker, losing your job, stuck in traffic, kicked off the dive boat, or you just plain being an asshole. That falls on you. Good luck. You might need it. Alright, so here's our batteries. They're going to be paired in groups of 2. Got our hot glue gun. You can use super glue. I don't recommend it because once you put these together with super glue, if anything goes wrong, you really can't get them apart. If you get it misaligned, with the hot glue, at least you can actually do that in case something goes wrong. So we're just going to take a little bit of a bead, put it down here, and roll them together. So let's go ahead and do that. And just like that. So we'll do that with the rest of them. We'll be back in a second. Alright, so there's our batteries put together. Not going to come apart there. One other thing I want to do with these is put some insulation on top of these. If you may or may not realize that the positive post on these 18650 lithiums, the positive post is right here, and literally the negative runs the entire length of the case, and it folds over right here. So right here is actually the negative terminal, and here's the negative part of the case, and then you have the positive part right there. So I want to insulate that with these, and that'll help keep any heat or short from affecting the wrap right here and causing a short circuit. So let's go ahead and put these on, and we'll carry on. Now the next step is to use our spot welder to actually go and put the tabs on the battery. And these are the tabs we're going to be using. If you can get a good look at those or not. It allows you to attach 2 batteries here and here, and then it's got a little part right there you can actually solder to without actually affecting the battery too much. So we're going to go ahead and do the top. One thing, I guess, before we go, we need to ensure that we have the batteries lined up correctly. So you'll have the negative end, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. It'll flow this way. So you'll need to put 2 tabs between here, 2 tabs between here, and 2 of those tabs here. Now, when we fold the battery in on itself, we're going to use one of these. This is a 4 tab, and it'll go right on the end, and that'll put them all together. So let's go ahead and start that. Now I have a little magnet here which will help out with the holding the tab still during the spot welding, at least until I get it on one battery. So just like that, and hopefully you can see this. And we got 2 little spot welds right there. May or may not be able to see that. Try to get some light on it. And we'll do the same for this side. Alright, so we got that. This will be the positive side. This will connect to this. And we'll hook our 4 batteries together down here. So we're going to do the same for this right here, and we'll be back. Alright, so there's our packs with all the little tabs on them. One of them's got 2 of them have tabs on both ends, and 2 of them have tabs on one end. One's on the positive, one's on the negative. Now when these get put together, that right there will be connected between the 2. We'll do that after this next step. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this one here, and we're going to attach it positive and negative like so. And to assist with this, I recommend a clamp. So we're just going to hold them here and just clamp it together. Make sure it holds nice and tight. And we're going to do a spot weld on these 2 little tabs right here. Just kind of spot weld them together. Put one more in there. Just like that. And we're going to fold this tab over the negative side, since we don't want this positive terminal right here to cross over to this negative, since positive is already connected to that negative. So we're going to just fold that over right there, and we're going to do the same with the other one. Alright, what we're going to do is put down a little bit of tape behind this to protect it from the solder, because this is a Kapton tape. It is designed for heat, and it will allow me to put solder down there, and if any drips off of it, it won't actually damage the shrink wrap for the battery, causing a short or anything like that. Alright, so these are those cells put together, just like that. Have our negative and our positive, so negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. Don't mess that up. So from here, we are going to take the batteries and put them together like this. Once again, we're going to use our clamp to assist us to hold these straight. Okay, make sure we get them square. Then we're going to take our hot glue again and just put a bead down the center here. Alright, so On this end, you got to do the same thing with this. Got to put this on here. I'm going to try to line that up the way I want it. Get our magnet back. We'll need this one more time to hold that down. Line up my tab, and then we'll spot weld these. Alright, now we're going to put some solder on this. So what I recommend is a little brush, some flux, and put a little solder on or a little flux on each tab, because solder likes flux. It flows easier when you use it. Remember to fold your tabs over the negative side. Don't fold it over the positive side. You don't want to cross this positive with this negative. But this positive with this negative is fine. So we got those three done. Let's put a little bit of solder on those. We'll start with the bottom down here. Alright. Now, this here is our BMS that we're going to be using. It's 4-cell or 4S BMS, not 4-cell. We have our battery positive, our battery negative, our battery bank 1, 2, and 3. These go between the cells, so this will go between set 1 and 2, this will go between set 2 and 3, and this will go between set 3 and 4. And this is what controls how the battery pack charges. Then our power output and input right here for discharging and charging right there. I'm going to put it on the pack like this to where this part is on top, so nothing will actually damage the circuitry on the top of this. So what we're going to do is take our pack and stand it up like this, and it's going to go on top of here. There's a few things I still got to do to this, but first thing I want to do is go ahead and actually hook some of the wiring up to this so I don't have to deal with it later. So we're going to take our little 22 gauge or 24 gauge wire. I'll use what I've got here first. And I want to basically put this where I need it on the board before I actually start any of my soldering, or before I start putting it on the pack. So we're going to strip a little bit, tin the wire. It's always best to pre-tin your wires. Just like that. And we're going to hook this up to, I'm going to try to get it to go through the hole. Alright, just like that. Alright, there's one of them. Go right through the hole. Let's do another one. Alright, this is a silicone wire, so it'll take any heat that I really give to it. Very, very flexible. You can tie it in a knot and it doesn't hurt it. But it's very flexible, and I like that about silicone wire. Like I said, it's either a 24 or a 22 gauge. Can't quite remember. So we got those wired on. Now for the top of the pack, I want to put some protection on top to keep any of this electronics from actually coming in contact, and that's where this stuff comes in. This is a fish paper slash barley paper. I just want to cut a small square for the top of this to put over top of that. Alright, then we'll fold these over. Not all the way. Just enough so I can put a little tab on them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use these to hook these to the BMS. Okay, well, after doing a little bit of a goof up, I put the tab on the wrong side. It should have been over here, so I went ahead and moved that. And what we need to do now is just kind of flatten these parts out. Got them curled up a little bit and flat. I'm gonna put a little solder here, a little solder here, and this is what we're gonna solder the board to here. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's start here. Take our soldering iron, touch the metal, let it melt the solder. Next, I want to get our connector for our light. Now, I've already gone and pre-made this. It's just a straight up Females Dean's connector. Positive, negative. This is a 18 gauge wire. I went and put heat shrink here, a little bit here, a little bit here to kind of keep the wires from fraying apart. And went in and tinned my wires here, but I'm going to clean those up. Going to fold those over top. Alright, so now we're going to need to hook up our balance lead wires. I'm going to go ahead and push this down because we don't need that poking up anymore. Just like that. Okay, so here's our battery pack. We have it all together. Got our little sense wires hooked up for the BMS. Got all that taken care of. Got the output for the BMS. I'm going to put a little Kapton tape here in the center just to help hold it together a little bit tighter before we actually put it in the wrap. Before I put it in the wrap, I've got to put these on the top to protect the board and on the bottom to protect the terminals right there. Let's go ahead and do this, and then we'll go ahead and do the Kapton tape, and then we'll do the wrap. Alright, just like that. And here's our wrap. Now, you can use a hair dryer, a heat gun to put this on. I'm actually going to use my hot air station to do this. If I can ever get it open. And just go slow when you're doing this. If you do it too fast, you'll end up crinkling it all over the place, and it'll just end up looking really, really nasty. Now it looks like I have just a little bit too much down here, so I'm going to cut some of that off real quick. Alright, let's get our hot air station going. Alright, so here's our battery pack. We've got it all put together, and we're going to go ahead and put it in the can. So here's our canister. Make sure we line it up right and set her in. Alright, we're going to give it a charge, and we'll be back in a second. Alright, and we're back. We got our battery pack charged up, got our light hooked up, and just got to check it. And there we go. We have light. So for $200 for a light off of eBay and another $20 to build a battery pack, I got me a working dive light. Can't complain. The batteries themselves were about $1 a piece. The BMS was about another $4 plus some nickel strips, some wrap, and solder, and a little bit of wire. small little project, not too bad. Hopefully this was helpful to you. If you have a canister light that maybe not be lasting as long, maybe time to check the pack, or maybe get a new one, or possibly build your own. While I was on eBay, purchasing this light, I ran across another light. And it is this one. It is one of the bigger canisters. There's something a little bit different about this one, though. This one actually has 4 ports on it. Now, it came with 2 light heads by itself, and this one actually had a battery in it. However, the downside to this one is running 2 lights off of this one canister. The battery pack that came with it is only a 6,500 milliamp hour battery pack. Uses 4 32650s, and I got a feeling that I can extend this to about 9,000 milliamps or 9 amps versus the 6.5 amps, and increase my run time by about 50%. So where I could actually run 2 lights off of it and actually not be such a big deal. So stay tuned for that. I'll try to bring that to y'all here next week or so. And until then, keep it safe, enjoy your diving, and we'll see you next time here at Finding the Dive.